Hello, I'm Benjamin Leach here with Megan Howard and James Segrest, and we're here to present our resource that we made to help teachers understand the effects and changes going on in the brain during adolescence. Now, what we decided on is a Canva presentation, just something that could be presented during a professional development or just otherwise be available to teachers for them to reference when they're working with their students. So if you look at our presentation here, you'll see that we start with the title slide, as we should, and we move quickly into the different parts of the brain, starting with the frontal lobe. Obviously, takes the longest time to develop of the parts of the brain involved in decision making and characteristics of your personality. Moving on into the parietal lobe, which helps with spatial relationships and pain in the body, and then into the occipital lobe with vision, and the temporal lobe, the temporal lobe with speech, language, and a little bit of short-term memory. With each of these, as you can see as we pass through here, we talk about the function of these parts of the brain, but also some of the major effects that's happening. Like the pituitary gland is releasing all of those stress hormones and all the hormones that start puberty, like growth hormone. The hypothalamus is the one that's kind of giving the order for that, and so on and so forth. So this whole section is just a little bit more technical, just telling about the different parts of the brain. But once they know what's happening, the question is, what do we do to present that to our students? How do we help them through these changes? And what we discussed as a group is that one of the major ways that we can help students understand these changes is to make sure that they're aware of them. A lot of students don't know what's happening in their brain. So maybe integrating some of that curriculum into a science class or a health class, generally being supportive to your students so that they know that they have someone to turn to if they're having trouble with these things happening in their life, and maybe even having a class dedicated to helping students with managing adolescence. During this class, there's certain instructional strategies that you could use to help guide them through this tough time. Something like inquiry-based learning, which helps them develop their critical thinking skills. Something like the ideal system to help them solve problems. Or just in general, different methods of instruction to help them understand things in different ways if they need different supports. Now, in the modern world, technology is more important than ever, especially in education. And so we had a slide that's discussing how, being that technology helps to personalize learning. By having technology available, it helps students to understand things on a very personal level, an individual level. If the teachers wanted more information, we have plenty of sources here. And yeah, just making this available for teachers to have.
So to create this resource, we did work as a group. We worked via group messaging through our class shell. So we utilized that chat method that our professor had put us in, as well as we utilized the comments on our Canva presentation to proofread each other's work and also to ask clarification if needed on some sort of information that we might need more clarification on. We also made sure we all had an equal amount of work at the beginning. So we split it up and made sure that everyone was doing their job and making sure that their part was done. These strategies were successful. However, there is some things that, if we were to do this again, that we would change. First off, we would make sure to possibly give more than a week to complete this assignment to kind of give a more in-depth analysis, to go a little bit deeper into what the parts of the brain would do. Also set up a Zoom throughout that week or however much time you would have to kind of check in with your group to make sure that it is all going smoothly. And yeah.
Hmm. Understanding all of these aspects are critical for us educators. Um, when teaching and school staff collaborate effectively, they create a supportive environment that benefits all students. By working together, teachers and staff can develop a common understanding of the school's mission and goals, ensuring that everyone is working towards the same objectives. Regular communication and sharing resources, enhancing the teaching practices and the students' outcomes. Building strong relationships fosters a sense of community and belonging, creating a positive atmosphere for the learning. By fostering a collaborative culture, schools can create an environment where anyone is committed to the success and well-being of all students. This shared vision and supportive atmosphere leads to improved academic outcomes and a positive school experience for everyone involved. Thank you for listening.